The hotline. It's been trending worldwide. People all around the country have been fixated into watching this amazing video that we've gotten from Cotton Bowl Speedway. It's been viewed over 137,000 times. Is the last number that I got. You had some kind of factory or sport compact battle to the end right there, and it was not only competitors, but they happen to be, a little bit more than competitors. We're going to the hotline. We got them together. I don't know if they're actually together or separate, depending on how all of that shook out. But it is Dylan Kowalik and Taylor Stewart on the Revved Up Sports Show hotline. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Okay, so we got Taylor. Dylan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, absolutely. So you guys, did you ever think that you had to think at some point that this could happen, where you guys could come down to racing each other for a win?
Yeah, I honestly thought I'd never catch him though.
I knew it was going to happen sooner or later, but I still wasn't going to let her win. I wasn't just going to get it.
I love it. We've actually got the video going. So go ahead, Bobby.
So talk about now. Is y'all's relationship any different now after you've got everybody watching the video? Or are y'all still doing okay? I know there was a couple of bent fenders and maybe some hurt feelings there for a little bit, but you guys worked through the issues of racing that close together on the racetrack?
Yeah, nothing's really just what happens on the race. I don't know.
He was never really mad.
Yeah, I wasn't mad. I got out of the car, so we were all good.
So we've talked to Taylor here on the show before, and I've go back many years with Taylor's family. There's so many of them, but Dylan, let's talk about you, your career. How long have you been at this? How did it start for you? How'd you meet young Taylor here?
I started racing about 2 years ago at the end of the season, but it started because my dad has always been around racing with Tommy Grimes, asphalt and everything. And then whenever they started racing I was always there and watching Tommy race in the late model. And then Bo Tracy had a car he had a car that nobody was driving, so they put me in it, and ever since I've been racing.
Nice.
So somebody that's run these cars, we got the video rolling there in the background. It looks like you guys were swapping the lead and swapping some paint. Talk about racing those cars. Those cars, I mean, everybody thinks that they're really easy to drive, but them front wheel drive cars on dirt, they're not the easiest thing to drive, are they?
No, they're not, and it's completely different whenever the car it's just completely backward than anything else. But
yeah, that makes sense. So Taylor, for you, as this has gone for you, let's talk about, and we'll ask you both, but Taylor, your season, I mean, you've come out, you've been really, really good. Talk about to this point, because we talked before, how rate yourself on your improvements and so forth so far this season for you.
I guess it's been pretty good. I mean, up until about now, I wouldn't consider that a great race. Everyone says they loved watching it, but I watch it, I'm like so stressed about it. It's a stressful situation. So, but I've come a long ways since last season for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with the track conditions have been a little bit more not as dry, which is what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, like my dad said, with a track like that, I wouldn't be running where I'm running. But I'm impressed with myself to a certain degree.
For sure.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So Dylan, don't forget we are a PG rated show sometimes. So when you get spun around there on the front stretch, what's going through your mind right there? Are you mad? Are you upset? Are you just like, this is fun? What goes through your mind when you sat there and you got turned around on the front stretch up there?
I was kind of shocked. I didn't expect it. Everything happened so fast, but I remember it like so clearly. And Honestly, I wanted Taylor to win, but I wasn't just gonna
Oh,
let off. I was hoping she'd get like a good run on the outside and just come by me, and it'd be like some kind of photo finish or something. But I wasn't expecting that, and then I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, that's tough. So with you guys out there in these cars, so Taylor, when you were ahead, could obviously you knew he was there, but could you sense if he was on the top side, if he was on the bottom? Did you have an idea? I know a lot of racers say, "Oh, I didn't know they were there," but could you sense where he was?
I knew he was there. I figured he was. I can figure where he's at, but most of the time I'm wrong when it comes out of nowhere. But
Smart answer.
I get this random it's like I go to like a whole different driver when there's someone like coming up next to me, and I hate the way I drove that race. I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed about it. Just like especially what happened at the end.
Sure.
That was not meant to happen. It didn't go as planned.
Sometimes
It
it
seemed
never
a lot
does.
better in my mind.
Yeah, not the way you drew it out. That's exactly right. Well said. Well said.
So Taylor, let's talk about. We talked about your growth as a racer and how you're able to kind of analyze more situations now than when we talked to you a year ago. So what in terms of have you been able to start learning how to read the racetrack and try to change your driving style based upon the racetrack conditions? I mean, how have you been able to adjust that way in terms of upping your game as you start racing in 2021?
I mean, I've gotten a little rusty, I think. Just kind of, I'm not sure. But, I've started turning the wheel too much, I think. And my car's pushing really bad, and I think I'm making it worse. And I mean, I don't speak cars very well. So it's like they tell me something and it's going in and out
Yeah.
of my ears.
Yeah.
You know? So Dad asked me, he's like, "How's the car feel?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I mean, I zone out."
Yeah. Yeah. No, it feels like it's going fast. Feels like it's going fast. So for you, Dylan. So with you. So let's talk about you. I mean, how do you? And I mean, I've watched you've. I mean, since I've seen you on the track, you've been like at the front of the pack. I mean, you're extremely good at this. At a very young age, by the way. For you, like Bobby's asking, they're reading the racetrack, learning the car because they are hard to drive. You can't do a damn thing to them. I mean, it's a stock car with a front wheel drive. It's a front wheel drive car. So hard to drive. So for you, how have you grown as you've driven these a little bit longer?
Yeah, I've just been able to read wherever everyone else is running the groove or whatever, and like it's all about line these cars and keeping your momentum up. It's not about how fast you get to the corner; it's about how fast you come out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just keeping the momentum up and just watching other people where they're running and follow them. But until you pass.
Okay.
That's exactly right. That's exactly how you're supposed to drive those front wheel drive cars. So that's good to know that the group is going to be in good hands here coming up for the next couple of years. So in terms of let's talk about the way. Do you guys work on each other's cars by chance? Are they too far apart? You know, one of y'all's in San Antonio versus up in Driftwood or wherever the cars are. Do you guys work on each other's cars, or how does that work?
I definitely do not. I do though. I do pick the dirt off of his car
Nice.
after the race.
Nice.
I take some weight off of it by picking off the mud. So I consider that working on it.
That is I tell you, young Taylor, that's working on it a lot more than some of these guys do these days. So yeah, that's very true. So let's talk about this race. So as it's going, we're watching these last few laps. Before I ask you this, are you guys like in awe of all of the damn people that have been watching this, and this thing is like going viral, where it's like boyfriend and girlfriend get mixed up on the track? I mean, it's amazing. I mean, have you guys kind of embraced all of this yet?
Not really. I mean, whenever it first happened, like I was like, at least we made the highlight reel before it even happened. And then
The highlight reel.
whenever I woke up and it was like everyone was sharing it and everything on Facebook, I was like, I did not expect it to go that big, but it did.
Yeah, I was real surprised because, I mean, it had 20,000 views when I had woken up that morning, and I was just like, wow, that's a lot. And then now that I think about that, that's not a lot. This is a lot. So I think it's funny. I think it's funny that happened.
That's awesome.
And it's funny how people are like tagging their boyfriend and their girlfriend, like this is gonna be us.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. This is great. I just wish Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Danica were still together. They could be watching this right now. And anyway, she wasn't quick enough. Anyway, no, forget that. Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
So what's next? Have you guys thought about racing anything else, like moving up the ladder to a factory stock or something like that? Or are you guys content running the little sport compacts out there for right now?
I think we're both planning on moving up next year. But the thing is, we both kind of have the idea on the same class we're going to, but I don't want to be in the same class as him anymore.
Especially
so
after that.
One of us has got to decide that we're not going to race that class. But it's definitely not going to be factory stocks for me because they stress me out.
They stress me out too, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, but I think Dad's talking about getting me a street stock maybe. I want an iStock, but I think that's what Dylan wants.
Yeah, I'm between either iStock or the Truck Series, but I don't know. It's just whatever I can get into, I guess.
Yeah, that's.
I don't really care.
Well, I got to tell you guys, with the popularity of this video, there could be opportunities that come to you. So, what I was going to ask, so let's break this race down. So with the video that we're watching, I mean, there's a couple of times there where Dylan, you were ahead, and Taylor may have kind of got under you there a little bit, and there's contact, and so was there hesitation for you, Dylan? Because I do see as it rolls along at some point, you're like, okay, I'm going to lay the bumper into you. How are you processing this? Are you thinking, I really don't want to do this, but yes, I do want to do this?
Yeah, the first time she got into me, I think it was going into turn 1, I was like, who is that? Because I did not think it was Taylor. She's like, I don't want to mess up my wrap or anything. All like scared to scratch her car. And I was like, I'm kind of surprised. And then whenever she passed me, I was like, wow. And then I was like, okay, maybe she just slipped up. And then I passed her back going into, or I think turn 1. And then she did it again. She just like comes up underneath me and pushes me around, but it was just, I don't know. It was kind of.
I tell you that I was racing a little harder, just because he's been winning quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I started. My favorite spot is outside pole, and when I started on outside pole, I mean I was ready to go. Okay, I was ready, and then I was like, he can't be here yet. He's not up here yet, and he was up there. And I was, in my brain, I'm like, just go away. Just go away. Get away from me. But, I mean, I didn't intentionally want to drive him like that. I was driving my car over its limits a little bit. It wasn't handling very well. And I was just so determined to beat him. And it just ended badly.
So, Taylor, how much of this driving style was your dad's, or how much of this is Mimi's driving style?
Neither. I'd say it's my Uncle Bobby.
Now that sounds about right. Did you have one arm over on the roll bar?
No.
Okay. All right.
But my grandma called my mom the other day and said he was just so excited about it. He said he thought I did nothing wrong. And I know I did something wrong, so I was going to listen to that. But that is definitely not the way I want to drive.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to make clean passes. And I think I've been a little bit misunderstood a little bit from the situation, getting so big. I've gotten lots of comments about me being a dirty driver. But it was one race. They don't know me, you know. And I'm not trying to defend myself or anything. I mean, but I think it's just a little bit. One video.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. I get it. I totally get it.
Like, I don't want to drive anybody like that, especially what happened right at the end of the race. I would never intentionally do that to somebody.
Oh, yeah. No.
Boyfriend or not, I would not do that to somebody.
Well, you say that now. Let him pass you again, and everybody's been there. When you've been in a relationship long enough, you realize that there's a strong desire to be the lead dog in the pack. So, but don't worry. That's all right. That's perfectly normal. So let's talk about you guys' relationship off the racetrack. How much time do you guys spend together, or talk about y'all's relationship off the racetrack?
Well, he lives over by San Antonio, and I live a little bit farther from Austin. So we see each other most times. I mean, it started from us just seeing each other at the races every weekend. And then it just started to where, like, off season came around, like, right after that. We met at the end of the race season in 2019, which we met on Oktoberfest, which was my first race. And we've been talking ever since. But we went from seeing each other every weekend. So pretty much.
Oh, that's a good thing. So Dylan, for you, and I want to go back to something that you were talking about there with the we've talked to Tommy Grimes on here before, and I know you're very young, but just from what you know, I mean, you've probably seen him on the track now because hell, he's still doing this, but talk about that dude right there and that bunch. I mean, how has that been? Because like with Taylor, she's got the News, she's got the Stewarts, she's got that pack. But for you, coming from the San Antonio side, I mean that those just such great folks over there, in that San Antonio area that have been doing this really well for a long time.
Yeah, I've been in the shop working or like just watching since I was 2.
Wow.
Or even younger, just at the racetrack and watching. And then remember like Thunderhill and just watching Tommy. And then whenever he started going over to dirt, I really got into it and was like working on the car and actually understanding what was going on. And then he started winning a lot. And that's whenever I wanted to start racing, but there was nothing, or like, I don't know. Yeah. I didn't know what to get into. And then that's whenever Bo Tracy had a car open, let me drive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What did Tommy seen the video? What did Tommy say about it? Because I can only imagine what Tommy Grimes would say about all that beating and banging. Not that he's ever done that in his life.